Donna Hitchcock,
yes.
You're from COLAS,
Yes.
And you've really been talking a lot today at the CIHT conference about skills. How does this sector really attract the right talent for the future?
I think really, and what we've talked about in the skills workshop today, is attracting the young people, so tomorrow's future. So I think a lot of what we're doing as a sector is trying to get into schools, colleges, really enhance what we say about the sector and the opportunities available, because I think most of us have agreed in the skills workshop that actually a lot of teachers, parents and children don't really understand what the sector does and the career opportunities that are available. So I think as a sector that's definitely a way forward. But at the same time, that's not the only solution, and I think we need to do a lot more about targeting harder to reach communities as well. So it may be people that have come out of the sector but want to get back in again. So it might be that some of those people that might have come out in the crash but want to come back into it again, mums that are returning to work, people from all kinds of different backgrounds looking at ex-offenders, ex-military.
What sort of skills? Are these skills that, predominantly the traditional skills of engineering in the highways and transportation sector, or are they new skills?
It's probably a mixture of both, to be honest, because we've got to look after what we've got today, so we need some of those traditional skills, but I think at the same time we've got to be looking to the future, harnessing technology. I know COLAS is doing a lot about its innovation and technology, so we need people with those forward-thinking digital IT skills that can really move with the sector. So short answer is I think it's got to be a combination at this moment in time of both traditional and
But a business like COLAS, you still need people who are out there delivering on the roads.
Absolutely. So we need a combination, and I think what we also can do with that workforce is continue to develop their skills. So they might enter COLAS at that level, but there's so much more that we can do once they're in the organisation to develop them for the future, and that is what we're starting to do within the company, is really harnessing that talent when it comes in at entry level and developing them for the future.
Enough focus on apprenticeships?
I think COLAS does well with apprenticeships, but I think we could, as with lots of organisations, we could do better, and certainly the apprenticeship levy will help focus our minds on that. And we will be putting a strategy in place later this year about how we can really move forward with apprentices and get them into the organisation. Again, we see very much that that's our talent pipeline, and we can get them in at entry level and can continue to develop them in worlds they're oyster in.
Because that levy is seen by a lot of businesses as being something of a problem, a bit of a blocker. I mean, how do you see the levy? Is it a positive thing?
I think so. I mean, I think, you know, for some really large organisations, then the levy is quite a big commitment, and I think a lot of those organisations are already doing a lot with apprentices. And it's not just the money. It's not actually just the money that's the issue. It's the time and the effort that people have to invest to train them. And I think a lot of larger companies are at their capacity for apprentices, and having to take more is proven to be a bit of an issue. Not necessarily the financial. Obviously, that's a big impact. But as I say, it's actually the people and the time that you need to develop. I personally don't think. I think COLAS can look at it in a very positive light. I think, you know, looking at our levy commitments, we can certainly, I think there's definitely scope to bring more apprentices so that we can take advantage of the levy as really it's intended. That's what the government intends us to do. So I don't see it being an issue for COLAS.
Fundamentally, to finish, I suppose, the highways sector is still, it's always going to be, it's a tough business to be in. You know, it's outside, the weather is pretty inclement, the work is tough. Is that attractive to young people that are out there in the workplace, in the market at the moment?
I think, you know, it's a difficult one, but what we have to make sure is that we say to the young talent, it's not always like that, and there are opportunities. If you start at that level, as I said, there are opportunities to move into other roles where you're not out in the bad weather all the time. I mean, admittedly, yes, it will put some people off, but I think the benefits as a sector that we can really demonstrate to our young people outweigh those and almost misconceptions of what the sector is like, because it's not all about being outside in the bad weather. There are other opportunities for young people once they're in the sector to develop and get away from the bad weather.
Well, it's a message you're certainly working hard to get across. Thanks for joining us here today.
You're welcome, thank you.
Thanks.